Hi guys, I am so excited to do a favorites video again. I don't even know when the last time I've done one was. I've had a whole lot of changes in my life and a lot going on, but I wanted to reflect on a few pieces that really brought a lot of value to my everyday life. Some pieces that I've just picked up along the way. So I've got a whole mix of beauty and a book and some home stuff. So you can use the links below for anything that I mention, and let's get started. So I got a few pieces of jewelry this spring. One that was really special to me is I got an engagement ring from Zach. We're already married, but we had an anniversary of our engagement. It was just a really special time to be able to replace the ring that I had. I still have it, it's in safekeeping, but at this point I needed to have something that was a bit smaller. Actually, it was great because Zach knows that I love yellow gold right now, and so to get something that kind of matched my everyday jewelry was great. But yeah, I wanted to keep the one that I had in safe storage, and I was scared about resizing because it had little tiny diamonds all the way around it. Resizing it was a very delicate procedure. So this was just a perfect option. It's from J.Hannah and it's from her glass collection, glacé. I've heard so many different ways to pronounce it, but basically it means ice, and it has this beautiful look with the quartz stone that just makes it look like it's a piece of ice. And she also has earrings and everything in the whole collection. It's really beautiful. And then she has ways that you can select different types of metals too. If yellow gold isn't your thing, there's a few other ones too. Next, I got some Bray & Oro rings. There's a set of stackable ones. So I got them in 3 different sizes, one for my pinky ring, and then on my ring finger on my right hand, and then also I wear this one on my index finger. So it just kind of gives you a collection of ones to throw on for everyday use. They're really pretty too because they're solid gold, meaning that I can wash my hands and they're not going to oxidize or get my fingers green or anything. That was kind of an upgrade that I did. The ones before were brass, and so that was kind of a nice change, and it's really helped me make sure that I'm continuously washing my hands during flu season. And then also I put lotions on and stuff, so it's just a really good option to be able to have that. I also got one that was a little bit thicker. It's the thick band from Bray & Oro, and that just adds a little bit more of a statement piece. So that was just a really awesome way to upgrade my rings, and overall I've been so happy. This is how I've been wearing my rings for the past couple months so far. So for those of you who watched my video on the types of jewelry that I love, ones that were on my wish list, it was nice to be able to get the wolf circus earrings that I mentioned on there. So these are hollow, they come in little hoops, and they also come with these detachable pearls that you can just put on them for a really beautiful look. I was looking for hoops, I was looking for pearl earrings, and it was a beautiful combination. But it wasn't until I bought them that I realized that I can just take the pearls off and just have a really casual, more casual hoop look instead if I just didn't have the right feeling for the pearls or if they didn't go with my outfit. So that was just really cool when I found that out because it was just so versatile. And it's neat too that the hoops are hollow because I feel like I just have more sensitive ears where I don't want the pulling on them as much, and so wearing something that's hollow, I didn't even really feel like they were there. So now I want to go into a few home items, and one that I know that you guys would be interested in is this one. It's the Patty Wax Library Candle, and I've had a few of these in the past. You might have heard me talk about them, but this one is in a new scent. It's their Louisa May Alcott candle. And they always do this with their library collection where they will take a prominent writer and build this scent story around the writer. And so this one is more of a cherry blossoms and ivy scent, which is why I immediately picked it up and smelled it, and I loved it. It was nice to be able, by the way, to go to a store and smell the candle before I buy it because I usually buy all my candles online. So this was nice to be able to smell each one and decide which one I wanted. But the minute that I read that this one's cherry blossoms and ivy, I picked it up because that's what we have in our yard, and just bringing that outside in was a really lovely experience. So if you guys have been following along at all with the vlog or with my Instagram stories, you'll know I've been doing a lot of antique shopping, and we found this one incredible store, and I'll link you guys if you're ever in the area of Nashville. And it was just so nice to be able to find a few pieces. This one above me here is this giant mirror that we got. We were really looking for a big mirror that would be the size of the fireplace and just be to scale to the other pieces in the room, even the doors and everything. So we wanted something that would bring that certain sort of elegance to the rest of the room. And what's great about it too is that there's history to it. It's not like it's here today, gone tomorrow, and I'm just gonna have a fad and throw it out. Like, this is something that will hold its value. And what's great is that it's a Louis Philippe mirror. So it's from around the 1830s and 1840s. And the great thing about the Louis Philippe style that I've been learning about is that he had more of a like laid back style. He wore more suits rather than the full, royal regalia that a lot of the people of his past used to wear. And yet his style influenced the furniture of that era, but wasn't like dictated like it usually was with rulers, I guess, at that time. So that was just really neat to learn about, and that's why this mirror is, though it's like a gilt mirror and it's large in scale, it isn't like overdone with too much ornate stuff on top, and the rounded edges are something really true to that time too. I also found a big difference while we were shopping around for mirrors in how this one had more of that accurate like mercury glass, a little bit of this glittery bottom part that was just from wear and tear and like how they made mirrors back then. It wasn't just like glass like a newer mirror might have with no bubbling or rippling or anything. So having a little bit of that worn look is really on par with what we were looking for. And then another thing that we got for our house was we wanted something for the mantle that's in our studio space, and we didn't want to have a mirror in there necessarily just because it would be kind of distracting to see all of the camera equipment that's in front of me when I'm taping and stuff. So it's gonna be nice to just have the painting in there, and I just love the vibe that it gives to the whole room. When we first brought it in, it was a little bit creepy, as portraits can be, but I like that she's not looking like directly at you in the shot, and I also like her soft eyes. That was really well done. It says in the bottom that it's from H. Ludden, who was an Austrian painter at the time, and he's more known for like landscapes and hunting scenes and stuff. But this was neat to be able to learn a little bit about him. He studied under someone else, so I don't think that he was like this proficient person. I actually think that this was a painting that he did as sort of a study from his tutor, and I can't remember his name right now, but I just loved the history of that and learning about him. He was actually early 20th century is when he was really painting. And so I found a few other paintings online that he did, but this one was my favorite he's ever done. So I picked that one up actually just randomly at an antique shop. And it was neat to just learn about him later, but I loved that. It was nice to be able to have something with a really beautiful frame around it too, and something that matched the room. I liked the dark colors in it too, like the brightest parts of her skin and her eyes and stuff wasn't too bright. It's almost like a brown color in the way that the palette is constructed of the whole painting. So I'm just giddy about that stuff. I would love to be able to do like a replica and a study of it myself, just trying to paint like that again. But yeah, and let me know if in the comments if you'd be interested in more painting videos. It takes a long time to do it, and I have to be able to have the wherewithal to be able to do another painting, but I would really like to do another one if you guys are interested. So I mentioned these before, but I'm so happy with how much I've been getting use out of them. So these are the Everlane Day Gloves in black. They gifted these to me, and so I've already talked about them, but this is like just a bonus because I really have been wearing them a lot. I had an extra pair of the Everlane Day Gloves last year. It was like almost exactly a year ago that I got them in, I think it was the brown or coffee color. So this was great because in the black, it matches a bit more items that like outfits that I want to wear. Also, this feels like the shoe that every Disney princess or Audrey Hepburn ever wore. So just wearing these and slipping them on if I wanted to walk in the grass. I just went to the park yesterday, and these were the perfect park shoes. The leather, it held up pretty well against like a wet grass versus like something suede or a heel or anything like that. This was the perfect thing. So something vintage that I picked up this month, I got this vintage cami and I love it so much. I love the fact that it's very like tight on me. It feels slimming, and also it just feels beautiful because it's silk, and I love a good vintage find that's like a classic and a timeless piece, and I felt like this just checked a lot of boxes for me. It's got a braided strap, and the braid actually continues all the way along the top, and it's just like the perfect thing I could wear with like a billowy skirt or something really wide or loose on bottom. I could wear something tight fitting, and I'm really excited to wear it as the days like start getting warmer too. Okay, next, the minute that I cut my hair, I realized just how much hair I have, and it was to the point where I felt like, what's her name, Edna Mode, I believe, from The Incredibles, the designer. She is like my favorite animated character ever. I just relate to her on a very deep level, on the petite level, on the big hair level, on the designer level, but I really needed to tone down my hair. I just felt like it was out of control and too big, and I wanted more of an undone vibe, but I mean, I just have so much hair. So it was so nice because I finally picked up a straightener. This one was from Sephora, and I was like, okay, I want something that's $150 or less, and I want something with like close to a 5-star review. And this was the highest rated straightener on Sephora's website. I like it because it's just an easy on off. I don't have to fiddle with, oh no, it's not like warm enough, and you know, dealing with dials and buttons and stuff. This is really simple. There is only, unless I've missed something, there's only one temperature. And then the plates, they seem to be floating. They're a floating plate too, and I liked that it was a smaller straightener, like a thinner one than I've had in the past. The one I had in the past when I had long hair, I had like a 2-inch straightener, and it felt like a brick. So this one is going to, like, it's been a lot more easy to work with. I used it for today's look. I got this last week, so I've used it about like 4 times, and it's brought immediate difference to the way that my hair looks. I can still style it the way that I want to. You know, I like to put a little bit of waves in it and stuff with my straightener, but just having the ability to like calm it down a little bit has been really great. For those of you daring enough to delve into the depths of old videos, you might find a skincare favorites video that I did. I mean, I talked like Minnie Mouse, but it was really fun to be able to have some old skincare favorites that I wanted to dust off and try again because they really seemed to help my skin. So I got them again, and I have been immediately like, oh my gosh, why have I not been using this? So the first one is from Hamish. It's the All Clean Balm. I have been using coconut oil just because, like, for a cheaper option, it's really great to just use coconut oil, and it, you know, it also has some like antifungal properties to it too, but this actually takes off my makeup better. So this is All Clean Balm. There were several of these online too. I was like, should I try those? But I was so happy with the price point of this. It's a Korean product. It says it's a clean and comfortable beauty intensive cleansing balm. And that's exactly what it is. So I just put this on before I jump in the shower to really get all my makeup off, or else I will put this on right before I wash my face. So I'm kind of double cleansing, and it's helped my skin like be able to breathe and get all of the residue of the day off. It's also good whenever you use a balm like this. People say that it's good for like removing the pollutants from the air. I don't know if that's true, but it certainly has made a difference in my skin. The other piece of the cleansing products that I purchased again was this low pH Good Morning Gel Cleanser by COSRX. And why I like this one so much is because it's a very gentle cleanser. Like, it's something that I wear, it says morning, but I've used it in the morning and at night. I'm not a skincare expert, so there might be a reason to use it only in the morning, but I use it twice a day just because it feels light, like there's not many like scents to it at all. I feel like I have more sensitive skin, and using something like this, which is also again a Korean product, felt just lovely on my face. And then it deals with the pH of your skin too, which is why I use toners. So I'll use a toner after this too, but just having something that deals with the pH of my skin was what I initially reached for. Another product that I repurchased was the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. I used to put my brows in pretty thick, you know, like I would do the full like Instagram brow, if you will, and probably not very well. But it was nice to have something like this that kind of restricts my ability to overdo my eyebrows and just have a really natural everyday look. So I just use them to pencil in a few little lines and basically make it look a little bit more filled in the front of my brows, which are quite sparse in the front. And then I just take the spoolie on the end and fluff them out and make them kind of like more blurred. But why I like this one so much is because I've used some spoolies in the past that were thick and they just collect product, and something like this really gets in your brows and makes them look even and beautiful. So there's a reason why people are crazy about Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I am now in that number. I purchased this originally in December, and the pencil is quite skinny and stuff, like it's not very big. You will need to like repurchase this after a while. I wish that it had more of that product in it, but that's like my only complaint, and I went right back out and purchased another one. Some of you guys are really here for book reviews. I used to do book reviews very heavily, and now I really just keep that in my Goodreads account. So you can definitely follow me over there if you want more like book recommendations at all. But one that I gave a very seldom 5-star review to, I never give 5-star reviews, and this was one of the only ones ever that I've done, has been Where the Crawdads Sing. I related to this because it was based in the Carolinas, which I'm from North Carolina, and it was just so nice to be able to relate to that. But it was also very unique in the storyline. It starts out with an immediate like whodunit crime scene, or even if it is a crime at all. And then it also starts to talk about where there's this storyline of this little girl that is really raising herself in the marshes of North Carolina. So these two storylines just keep spinning, and then eventually everything starts connecting at the end. And that was just a really unique experience because it's in the 50s, and so there's a little bit of like the social dynamics that are happening at that time. I think that it was just so interesting to see this one girl that is really an outcast, and kind of how she's treated and yet how she kind of rises above. Yeah, I mean, the whole unique story there is so beautiful. I listened to it on audiobook, so I never had the paper copy of it. The audiobook was incredible, very well narrated, and actually this book was so highly reviewed. It was one of the top 10 books or 12 books, I believe, from Reese Witherspoon that she recommends. And she's actually, last I looked, she's gonna be producing the movie to go along with the book. So I'm just so excited about this. It's gonna be really, really beautiful. I felt like the book was so vivid. I could talk at length about this book, so you're just gonna have to see for yourself. I would recommend listening to the audiobook. It was really good. So leave it to Zach to find the next latest and greatest thing, like tech invention out there. These are the Bose Sleepbuds. He uses these because he's a really light sleeper. Of course, we've had a complete like change of location, so now we live in a bigger city, like a big city. I was from the mountains of Virginia before, and like now I'm here and there's sirens, like we live close to a fire department, and there's just honking and who knows what going on in the middle of the night. Also, our cat was so intrigued by this new house and how his voice just echoes in the middle of the night. And it's just like we could not sleep for the first few nights at all. Zach like immediately ordered these. I can sleep through the night actually, unless he's waking up and yelling at the cat or like whatever else is going on. So he got these, and what they do is there's an app that goes with it. So you are able to listen to these all night long, and then on your app you can choose like which type of sound that you want to listen to while you're sleeping. And then it also doesn't have any notifications like your phone would normally have with earbuds, so it doesn't bring in any noise except for what is loaded in that app, including if that app, like you have an alarm turned on within the app, and that's like a beautiful chime noise that wakes you up. And I think you can even choose your alarm noise too. So I just had to mention these because we just really needed these at this time in our life, and they made a big difference. Anyways, guys, those are the things that really brought value to my spring. It wasn't just a March favorites, but just things that I've picked up along the way. I hope that you liked this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Still see